We hold on.
Life or
Hold on.
life or death.
I forget, huh? Is that the answer? We're live, Joe. Halloween is just tomorrow. We're live.
Halloween across the whole planet. Welcome, guys. This is our Halloween special. Tech Trends episode 24. So it's kind of funny. Like some of our topics actually are a little bit scary, you know. So, guys, let's go into our first topic. We're talking about Intel. Intel's trying to already get us pumped up for their new 11th gen, which is coming sometime in quarter of 2021.
Yep, definitely. That one's gonna be. That
So,
seems interesting.
yeah, so they're gonna what? They're trying to get you not to buy the Zen 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's what their goal is. That's what they're obvious. Like AMD does the same thing, and everybody does that. Trying to get you pumped up. So what do you think about these new CPUs that they're giving us some benchmarks?
It's very curious seeing the results on looking at the graphs and everything that we see in the topics, man, and actually in the news article. It
Yep.
it, it shows some good results in a certain point. What do you, because you know a little bit more about processors than I do, because I've been out of the game for a while. What do you think of the things, Joe? Like, the result, looking at the benchmarks, because I know you've done a lot of benchmarks on a lot of this stuff here more than I have. So what do you think of these results in your opinion?
Well, I think it's cool, right? It's cool that we're going to see more performance, and this competition, is good because every time it's like, okay, AMD is going to be on top for we don't know exactly when in quarter one, so that could be what 3 months plus
Correct.
November, December, so it could be 5 months of AMD being on top. And then so yeah, it's great for us because then in 5 months then we're going to see even maybe prices stay the same, but we'll have more performance for that same value,
Yeah.
and then hopefully AMD can top it again in 2021. It seems like every year now we're seeing a new, at least from AMD, we're seeing a new launch every, like it's becoming predictable. We're going to see something cool every year. So if you're not satisfied with currently what's out, you look forward to the next year, which it's pretty cool because Intel's done a lot of those, but because they didn't have a lot of competition, they could get away with just 5% increases year after year.
Yep, definitely.
They were
Definitely.
so ahead, you know. And so yeah, this is cool. This is cool. We're seeing that hopefully these CPUs can clock as high as their current counterparts. Otherwise, then we're not really sure, you know, where they're really going to stack up against AMD. But
Yeah. Yeah, that's
this was definitely the generation where they're doing, PCI 4.0.
yep, definitely.
Do you see any I mean, I personally, I don't know. I haven't pushed the limits to needing PCI 4.0.
Never, neither have I. I've never really pushed it. Even where I worked at recently, we've never really pushed 4.0. Never. I've never.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think it's more. I think the reason we're going to 4.0 and 5.0 is because we're starting to push 4. If I'm correct, get me wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, feel free to correct me, and comment down below. Just chat. Feel free to do it. I think it's because we're going into the 4K and 4K and above, the
Yeah.
graphics cards and more of that stuff. I think that's the reason we're going, and faster performance on internal components. If I'm correct, because I know
Yeah, I
internal
just
internal before a few years ago, I know we're running at 6 gigabits per second directly on the board, but I don't think we're running 6 gigabits off of the PCI slots.
yeah. I mean, I would think. I think it's kind of interesting because it's really for the really rich enthusiast. Because even the enthusiasts,
Correct. Correct.
like I have a SSD that can go like I think 3,700 megabytes read and like 2100 write, I believe. And that's on my like PCIe 3.0, so it's in the
Correct.
board, in the motherboard. But that was like that for 500 gigabytes. That was like $200. I don't know. You have to pay a lot of money to just get like 500 gigabytes going, like, you know, PCI 4.0 speeds.
Definitely.
Like that could be that we're talking about like probably several grand. It's like then you're starting to talk about like these are like, I don't know, small businesses or like really rich enthusiasts, you know?
Yeah.
Because this stuff was probably already in the you know, it's already in the enterprise. Everybody like every big company that buys these.
Yep. Definitely.
So it's just trickle down, and it was because AMD wasn't there yet with their single thread performance. They wanted to offer something that Intel doesn't have, right? Even if it's not really beneficial to most people. And now that AMD has it and it's now a marketing thing, now Intel's like, okay, we have to offer it too.
Yeah, definitely.
And Intel might have already, you know, Intel might have done PCI 4.0 with this next generation, but I don't know. You know, with them, I think you could easily see that, like most companies, like that are ahead, they hold on to that technology for a rainy day.
Correct. Correct.
And so it's kind of surprising that Intel didn't do it with the 10th gen. So I guess they I don't know. I'm not sure what it came down to. If it came down to you know, like a timetable, they just couldn't incorporate it, or oh, you know what it was actually, you know what we were talking about? It was just that AMD caught them off guard. And if they did do PCI 4.0, the motherboards that were already running really hot would have run insanely hot. And because Intel took forever to get their lower nodes, you know, that are more energy efficient, they couldn't
Yep.
they couldn't put PCI 4.0 yet until, I think, because the next gen is going to be like, I think 10. Oh no, it's gonna be another enhanced 4.0. But you
Correct.
got to think that they're going to have like a huge heat sink, like what AMD did with theirs.
Yep. Definitely.
So
Definitely.
it's going to have massive heat sink spreading capabilities. And with how Intel's been behaving recently, I think it's probably going to be hotter than an AMD CPU.
Yeah, definitely. Um, can we expect what are the new features or stuff that we're expecting on this right here, or this new feature of the Intel Rockets Lake desktop CPU? What's going to be included? Do you know?
Well, some of the stuff is a little bit straightforward, and some of it's kind of confusing. We're supposed to get 50% higher integrated graphics. So not many people do that, but let's say what I think this would benefit is those people who just buy like a laptop and they just buy the integrated graphics. They don't buy like an RTX 2060 or whatever, you know. They don't buy one that actually has
Interesting.
a upper tier GPU, and so that would basically is going to make the general laptops
Yeah, like
faster
me,
with
like
graphics. Yeah.
like me for instance, I wouldn't
Well,
even I wouldn't even have known that because at the point in time when I first started all this stuff, technology, even just a little bit today, because like I said, I'm behind a lot, and I wouldn't have known what GTX and none of that stuff was until now. I'm starting to learn more into this. I'm seeing that graphics cards is not that the best versus if you buy additional cards. Is that right, Joe? Like
um,
Nvidia's external cards.
well, yeah. I mean, if I mean, they're internal because they're going into the computer, but
Mm-hmm.
you're like you have to like you can buy custom, which is more expensive, or you put it in yourself. Um, I guess yeah. I mean, people didn't. Yeah, if you didn't know about like that, there's different tiers. You'd just be like, okay, I'm looking at the graphics that are in the laptop, and that's pretty cool. And if I can't get the graphics there, I'll buy a more expensive one. And by chance, then they're buying the integrated ones that are like the Nvidia and AMD like upper tier ones, you know.
Correct. And
But for
when you say custom, you mean just like you just go to Nvidia or Amazon, you just buy an Nvidia card. Is that right? Is that what when you mean by
yeah, I meant
custom?
custom in the sense that like you put it. Well, I meant the sense is actually like someone else is building the PC for you, like the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that'd be more expensive, or you could buy it yourself and then have to install it in your computer. But with laptops, you know, it's like it's all you can't really change anything in there. It's all, you know, it's
Correct.
there for what it is. You can't upgrade it really. You can do upgrade the RAM, but that's really like not worth it usually. It's better just to buy it in the first place
Oh, okay.
because it's more expensive.
Correct. And what else? Other
And then
features are we
it's also a
seeing?
hassle, you know. What else? So you know they're saying that the it's gonna support up to 4K 60, DisplayPort 1.4a, HDMI 2.0b, HBR3, which I'm not sure what that standard is. Then Intel Deep Learning Boost, so it's supposed to have something VNNI for improved AI performance.
Really?
So maybe another you know, presentation from Intel, we'll learn what that is. They say there's more CPU PCIe lanes, so they've added 4 Gen 4 PCI, so a total of 20 Gen 4. But personally, I think that's pretty low compared to what we're used to. I think we're used to like 40 or yeah, somewhere in that range, or 38 or something. So 20 is pretty low, and I think AMD offers more, but correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Um, you know, then they're advertising PCI Gen 4 with low latency, high bandwidth, and increased standard memory controllers. So your
Mm-hmm.
standard memory would go from up to DDR 3200, where before they were supporting natively 2666. But you know, with overclocking, which is usually supported by a lot of motherboards and really good RAM companies, those are pretty. A lot of those are really stable, so you can go way beyond 3200. And then with their new Cypress Cove cores, that's a alliteration. Cypress Cove cores, up to 8 core, 16 threads, and they're claiming they have double-digit IPC improvement over the previous generation. So a lot of features, and of course, you know, it looks like I haven't really squared this around AMD's current you know, current lineup to see what, you know, whether this is going to like leap far away. And it seems like it's going to. It seems like it could potentially be like 15% faster than AMD's current offerings, but this isn't going to come out for
He's gonna
6 months maybe.
I think so. I think that's what it stated.
And also we don't know what the clocks will be, and we don't know what kind of cooling you'll have, because Intel has been deceptive in the past where they were not telling you exactly what cooling device they were doing when they were showing some CPUs at some presentations.
Yep.
So, you know, most people don't want to spend a lot on cooling for their computers, you know. And I personally only have like I only want to put the PC cooler in. I don't want to put like a hardcore liquid cooler in my PC, you know.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, I mean, what if you your thought? Do you want just what comes with it, or have you put like a custom CPU cooler in your PC before?
Not on my personal, but I've done it at work. We use liquid cooling. It's
Okay.
when you buy the liquid cooling, we use the Kraken X something. I forgot what the series was. We use that, and it's already all pre-built. You take it out of the box and you just assemble everything. The cooling system, everything's already pre-built into it. You don't have to put the liquid in. You don't do none of that stuff. It's all done for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do none of that stuff like the way it was back in the day. You had to be careful how you put the liquid. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we really. I like both. You know, don't get me wrong, but I think if I get a new PC like I'm planning to in the future, I'm going to go liquid cooling. Not too much of the CPU fan type.
And what's your rationale?
What do you mean by rationale?
Like, why would you want liquid cooling versus air?
Because it seems one fans like I've been doing like IT for a while, and fans tend to get clogged up real fast,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes too much noise over time. And with the cooling fans, you really don't have to worry about that. And another thing too, you have your goods and cons. And with the CP with liquid coolings, you don't have that. Like you don't have that kind of you won't get detected. Sometimes it depending on the CP type of cooling fan you buy. And then, but don't get me wrong, some cooling fans do come with fans too as
Well,
well.
even the water cooling ones have to have fans.
Correct. That's what I was saying. Also saying that the ones that we use, we actually have fans, but they.
No, actually, what I'm saying, or actually referring to, is like the custom AIB, like water cooling,
Correct.
But there are the ones where you're doing a closed loop water, where actually no, even those have radiators. I believe those even have fans.
Yeah, because they have radiators. I was gonna say that.
Yeah. So you always have to deal with dust.
Correct. It just depending on where exactly it's coming out of and in, but I know the once because whenever I've been like kind of like I'm sorry guys that I haven't done like IT in a while, so I haven't really seen much fans it's been like decades. But it's like the ones because majority of the dust it collects is onto your CPU, and the external fans on the outside of the case really don't get that filthy. Have you never noticed that, Joe?
Yeah. Well,
I'll say
yeah. I mean,
I'll say the case don't get that filthy compared to the ones that onto your CPU.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm trying to explain. I'm kind of like trying to grab.
Which reminds me, I'm coming up on like the 6-month period of owning my computer, so I need to look in my PC and start cleaning stuff out.
Correct. And I'll make a video.
Probably should do it like 2 times a year, guys.
I usually I would suggest something like that, or at least every other month, depending on how much you clean and how much you dust and where your computer's located. If it's on the floor, man, you have to do it more frequent. And if you sweep and dust, I would do more frequent.
Yeah, mine's like 3 feet off the ground. So, yeah, it's about time to go look in there. It's Halloween. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what I'm gonna see in there.
You never know. You might see a tarantula coming out of the back.
I'll see a little spooky ghost.
Yeah,
the specter.
Yep, definitely. Was there anything else you want to throw into this topic, Joe?
No, just Intel, coming back, swinging back, and hopefully we see just improvements, or like massive improvements. Because if we don't see improvements from Intel, we're just going to see higher prices from AMD. And
definitely.
AMD's been wanting higher prices for a long time because they're financially in a weaker position than NVIDIA and AMD. So it's good for us if Intel is coming back swinging.
Yeah, definitely.
They woke up the giant, and it looks like, I don't know, this looks very actually, it looks like really exciting that you could really push AMD to even higher heights than they've done, because they did get parity with this last Ryzen 3 where they were a little bit faster. But I don't know, can they next year or the near year after, can they keep up with Intel? Intel seems to I don't know, this is like a huge improvement, I hope, from Intel.
I do hope so.
So our next topic is about PlayStation 5, which this topic really got me going. So apparently, PlayStation 5 comes out in November 12th. So you guys been pre-ordering them, and you can buy them off the shelf or whatever, but to get your virtual reality working on your PS5, you have to contact Sony, and you have to fill out this form with your previous VR your serial code, and then they will send you an adapter that will allow your VR headset to work with the PlayStation 5. So because your VR headset that's out there on the market right now is compatible with PlayStation 4 but not PlayStation 5. And the part that I think is silly is you can't use the PlayStation 5 camera, which is actually better than the PS4, and you have to use this adapter until PlayStation releases the new virtual reality for PlayStation 5.
Now, speaking of that camera, yeah, we have to use the PS4. What do you think about that, Joe? That the Sony has to, that you actually cannot use the new camera on the PS5, and you have to use the old existing. What do you think on that? Like, in your opinion?
Well, it's Sony launching their I mean, okay, I was a little critical of them, but now I'm actually like backing off of that opinion, because now that I think about it, VR is actually not that big of a market. It's expensive, and there's a lot of people just don't like to do it. Let's say if you're wearing glasses, I'm not sure. Like, I'm gonna put some glasses on and try it. A company is actually sending me like some stuff, so I'm just gonna like play that with that as but VR hasn't caught on because it's just super expensive, and the resolution has to get there, so it's very meaningful. And yeah, so I guess it's nice that PlayStation's gonna send this adapter to you for free, so you just
Correct.
fill it out and they'll pay for shipping. um the article was saying about like get it as soon as possible. I'm not sure. I don't think that there's a deadline that Sony will stop doing this, but anytime there's something like this where it's free,
Yep.
You got to make sure you jump on that, because they can pull that plug, if
Yeah.
they
Anytime.
sell so many PlayStation 5s and there's no outcry about the VR thing. And like, you are a minority if you have the VR headset, so you might as well get it as soon as possible.
Take advantage of it. But the only downfall to that is that the PS5 does not release till November 12th.
Yeah. But
So,
it seems like I think you can sign up for it right now, and then it can get to you in maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. So it can come out relatively close, but only if you do it right now.
yep, definitely.
Otherwise, you'll have to wait like 2 or 3 weeks, and so you'll be. It's not the worst thing, but you have to like swap your camera. You have to use your PlayStation 4 camera on your PlayStation 5.
And it doesn't say in the article either that when they're gonna ship that product out to you.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't say
Yeah.
it doesn't say that when they will ship it out to you, or when it's actually being out.
Yeah, it doesn't give a specific day. It says like Sony's expects to ship them out like mid-November. So it could take 2 weeks.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, so like it's kind of cool, like if you're into VR. Personally, if you didn't get VR for the PlayStation 4, I wouldn't do it. Like, you have to spend like some money on like a DualShock controller. There's the PS4 camera, because if you already have the PS5, you don't have the PS4 camera. So I would wait. I'm not sure how long you have to wait, because you have to wait. I'm not sure if it's gonna be like 6 months to a year, or when they're gonna have the next PlayStation 5 VR. But if you got a lot of money, which, okay, you can do it, then you can buy the PlayStation 4 camera for $60, and then the DualShock 4, the PlayStation Move for $65 or $100, and then then you can have your VR headset if you go and fill this form out.
Yep, definitely. I would suggest people to take the advantage now and not wait.
Yeah. And I guess, guys, I'm not heavy into the console, so I don't know what Microsoft is doing for their console, if they already have VR capability like built in for this system, so they're not having to do the same thing that Sony's doing. I just don't know. So maybe somebody can tell us that.
Yeah, definitely.
Look into that. So we go on to our next topic, our last topic for today, and then we will all wish you a happy Halloween. AMD is rocking it with their new RX 6900 XT that they were talking about, the custom ones that they were showing on their YouTube channel this week. And
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, it was, gosh, I was blindsided by it too. I think it happened on like Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember at the moment, but yeah, it was pretty cool. They showed, that they're competitive with Nvidia. They were pricing it less. Like Nvidia has like the RTX 3090, which they're selling for like $1,500. So AMD's 6900 XT was shown to be $1,000,
Mm-hmm.
and so you know we don't fully know until the reviews come out and show us exactly where they stock up. But it's kind of cool because AMD releasing more cards, especially like scaring Nvidia to lower prices is always a good thing. And the thing that's really interesting that I didn't know, did you know this? They say that if you run the RX 6000 series graphics cards with a Ryzen 3 CPU, supposedly something with the caching and whatever, I don't really know all of it, it will run faster, like maybe just like 2 or 3% or something, but it'll run faster when you put AMD parts with AMD parts.
Interesting.
And yeah, I mean, if that makes a difference to you, then maybe it does. What do you think about this? I've been talking for a while.
Well, graphics card, like I said, graphics card is not my thing, but
Yeah.
it makes pretty fast. If it makes it a lot faster to actually put AMD parts with AMD parts, then that's true. I wish I could try that, so I could actually do a benchmark on the graphics. Man, I would love to actually get a hands on this and actually do a demo for it.
Yeah.
I'm really eager. I'm always been eager to try out new parts, but money wise, it's crazy out there, man. The pricing on the the graphics cards, it's so outrageous.
Yeah. Well, and that's still the same thing too, as we're talking earlier about Intel and AMD, and how if Intel doesn't release stuff, AMD is going to raise their prices on like Ryzen
Correct.
3 or 4 or whatever, and it seems the same thing with what's happening with the graphics card. Like AMD, like 2 generations ago, or yeah, with like the RX 480 was giving you like a really good bang for your buck.
Yep.
But they're not doing that anymore. Now they're really pricing themselves a lot closer to Nvidia, and they're really trying to make as much money as possible, which I understand, they're a corporation. But you're just not getting the bargains as much as before. And AMD really, with the marketing, they're really trying to make it look like it's a better bargain than it actually is. And unfortunately, I'm still leaning towards Nvidia. I mean, I say unfortunately, but it's awesome still. But I say in the terms of like the consumer always wants a cheaper graphics card. You want more features, faster speed for less price.
Yep, definitely.
That's always what we want to do. So I still lean towards Green Team because they have more feature sets. Like definitely. I haven't used what was it? NVIDIA, the voice, like the RTX voice. I haven't used that in a while since I got a dynamic mic, but I can totally see how that's cool for like when you're playing and like you can cut out some stuff that like really wouldn't be cut out maybe if you didn't have a filter, if you didn't know how to use OBS filters, and then there are some other stuff. There's some other cool like overlays and some things that just AMD hasn't released all the feature sets that NVIDIA has. So NVIDIA has a bit more feature sets. And we don't know, because we didn't see benchmarked with ray tracing, we don't know if AMD's ray tracing is equivalent to NVIDIA's ray tracing. This is the first generation we're seeing AMD supply ray tracing, and we've seen 2 generations of NVIDIA doing it.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So let me ask you this: how much? So I know graphics cards are expensive. You got like the 1500, and there's some graphics cards that sell for like 3000.
Oh man, I saw that.
The Titan ones of old. How much would you spend? Would you spend like there's graphics cards for like $100, 150, 200. We talked about how you spent like, I don't know how much, like you have a payment plan. You spent like what, $800 or $900 on a phone, right?
Yeah.
what's the most like, since you haven't bought like, have you bought like a dedicated graphics in recent time? Like in last, like, have you ever bought one?
Ah,
Or have
man.
you only been like pre-built like laptops or desktops?
I've been doing a lot of pre-built laptops. The desktops I've actually done one time. When I worked for the school, I actually did buy high-end graphics cards, but they weren't like in the $100,000 ones. Those
Yep.
big expensive ones. That were just like the small, low grade that actually you could only have selected between a few only.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much that was our budget, because I really didn't need a gaming graphics card, but I did have one, but that was way 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 back early, back like in 2010 or 2008 or 9 or something like that. That was the last time I had a custom graphics card. I haven't until now. I haven't really had a custom graphics card. If I have
So
anything,
let me ask you, I know it's just out there, but like, what kind of price would you feel comfortable with?
if I was to buy one, man, I would actually pay, the highest I would go is $800 to 1,000. That would be my price range.
Oh, well, that's a pretty high price range.
Correct.
I was expecting you to say like 150 or 200.
I would actually go that high. But it would be also I would have to save up for it to that range. I would, because like I always tell everybody, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
It's what WYSIWYG. I don't know if you've ever heard of the WYSIWYG. It's what you see is what you
What's
get.
that?
It's
Oh,
what you see is what you get. And if the cheaper you go, man, the cheaper you go on stuff, man, you're gonna get bad quality sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get $100 graphics card, you're gonna get the cheapest thing, man. The quality's not gonna be that great. You're gonna get performance issues. If I'm gonna go all out, I might as well go all out. If I'm like my MacBook, when I bought my MacBook, I paid almost $4,000 for it. I almost maxed it out, bro. I only needed
That was exciting.
I was exciting, bro. I was like, I couldn't max it out because I needed at least another $1,000. It would be 5,000. The reason it cost a little bit more because I bought software as well. Just gonna get people up so I won't get bashed. Why I paid $4,000 for a Mac? It was like 3,000 something just for the hardware. I was going to max it out. I just needed to jump over one more CPU, and then graphics was only one more up, and hard drive was just one up. I was pretty much just 3 upgrades away from maxing out my MacBook Pro, completely maxed. I was like, I didn't have the 1,000 for it. I was like, I didn't need it because I was just gonna use it for editing video, all that extra stuff, So I didn't really go that expensive, but I would,
Yeah.
like I was telling you, Joe, I would spend $1,000 on a graphics card, but I go off of my brother's opinion and your
Yeah.
opinion and whatever the audience's opinion on what type of graphics cards they would suggest me.
Yeah. I just, I can't stomach. I could never stomach paying the 550 or for a graphics card. It's always so like the most I've ever paid it was like 320.
But
I just can't, I can't see myself going beyond that.
if I was to do that 1,000,
Yeah.
it better come with 4K, and my computer better support 4K, and I better be able to do something intense.
Oh, if you pay $1,000, it'll do 4K pretty well. Like it'll do it at least like 70 frames or something.
Yeah, I better get something out of that, man. I better get some, like, I better get like oh yeah, you paid $1,000. I better get kind of a praise there a little bit for paying $1,000 for graphics card. But
Yeah, like like I told you, with my RTX 2060, in some of the big AAA titles, I'm like just barely getting like 25, 27 frames,
yeah,
maybe
that's what I'm
22,
saying.
maybe 22. But if League of Legends though, I'm a comfortable locked 90 or 80 when I do that. So some, and streaming, like if you're just doing like YouTube or something, like paying for $300 graphics card is pretty decent. But
Yep,
I'd say even like $300 graphics card, that's even like splurging and expensive to me
correct.
when I say that.
My brother tells me for an average person, you could go low. You don't have
Yeah,
to go cheap. You don't have to.
like my laptop, which is really good. It's working. It does all I want. Like you can get your email. You can watch Hulu or whatever. Right? You can do a lot of stuff. Um, I really haven't tried it for gaming because like that's probably wouldn't do that well. But it's
I don't remember what
$200. Wait, $280.
yeah, I don't remember if it was my brother recommended it was a 1080, no 1060, or the 2060 for the basic person, because you can still do high intense gaming on it. You can still get high frame rate on them. But if you start going higher on the higher price, you get higher resolution. But you got to remember your cable matters from your PC to your monitor. Your monitor has to have the frame rates supportive. Your CPU, your graphics card, your RAM, all that makes it matter. All that you got to take into consideration. A lot of people that build PCs don't really notice that, and all that plays a factor. Like my teacher told me in college, is like computer runs as your slowest component. That's the one thing you got to remember.
No, yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, I knew going into it that I was buying a GPU that couldn't really do 4K, but it could do the 4K in the games that I wanted it to do.
Correct. I'm trying to go,
and I knew it was strong enough for streaming like 20-30 frames for like doing like a 4K game is a lot more intensive than streaming YouTube.
Correct. And one thing I'm going to suggest people, if you're gonna buy $1,000 graphics card, that over $4,000 PC, you better buy yourself a UPS, universal power supply, that actually the lights go out. Hold on, we lost Joe for a minute there. Give me a moment. Joe. Yeah, like I was saying, guys. Let me on exceeded our time limit. So where's Joe? Sorry, guys. We had a little technical issue right there for a minute. Give me one moment so I can solve this. Join. Let me. Joe should be here shortly. Yeah, I'm still here, guys. Still here. Okay, Joe's back, guys. Joe's back. Joe's still here. It was so funny. Like I was saying, if you're gonna buy an expensive graphics card, you better actually have you better have a universal power supply. That if the power goes out, like Joe just disappeared right now, it wasn't a power supply issue, but if that ever happens, you won't get a power surge or a brownout, and it won't burn your internal components. A lot of people think that they just buy a little surge protector at Walmart, and that's going to protect you from a little power surge. In reality, they don't protect you from that. And a lot of people don't know that behind the scenes. And our teacher actually explained to us that.
Sorry, I was kind of I was a little bit spaced out because of what are our technical problems, but you're saying that if I bought like a power strip protector,
yeah, they don't support. They don't protect you physically. It's best to actually get a UPS battery powered thing. So whenever you get the spike, it goes into the battery first, and then when you get it, it's just a straight line. It's a constant feed.
Well, there you go. I learned something today. Thank you.
Yeah, versus a power supply. Power strip, just the surge goes straight into the strip, and then it segregates it all between all the connectors, because nobody knows.
So how much? Sorry.
Go on.
How much do USPs cost?
The UPS is you could get them for,
UPS?
yeah, I think the lowest you can get them for like 50 plus, 40, maybe 49 plus, $49
Interesting.
and above.
Interesting. Yeah. So like, for next week, if you're okay with it, like we'll share with some people some like brands of
Oh yeah, that's fine.
of these UPSs that help protect your computer, because wow, I did not know I did not know about that. I thought like the different surge protectors that like Best Buy or anywhere else has they'd burn those out and then they would stop.
Correct. That's what it's supposed to do, but they don't. As I've seen many computers go out, and even when they're plugged in, I had one in my house, and it's actually made for a computer, and my power supply went out. That's how I got my other computer running back up and running. And that's how I got it up and running, and it's working. It's working now.
And you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense, because um I had a power supply fail within, was it a year of buying it? A year, 2 years of buying it, 2 years of buying it. And then Seasonic gave me the warranty, and replaced it. And then my other friend, he also had a power supply die in 2 years. And we live, like 5 miles from each other. So I'm wondering if, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was actually weird, because it actually happened well, I don't know. That's weird, because it happened within like 2 or 3 weeks of each other. So,
and also too, do you know what a brownout is?
no.
Brownout is when the lights go dim and they never turn off. They just get dim, and then all of a sudden they get bright back up. Like the light's gonna go out, but they get dim, and appliances turn
Oh
off.
yeah, no, yeah, I've experienced that. Yeah, I just never had a name for it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're called brownouts, and then that's what happens when they drop down, and then they come back. The power comes back on during that
And
point of time.
is that also damaging? Possible.
Correct. It damages components. It damages so many components. In different things, appliances. It could damage numerous things. Not many people know about that.
Man, you blew my mind. I don't understand why UPS is. It's called UPS, right? I'm not saying it right.
Correct. It's
Wrong.
uninterruptible power supply.
Okay. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why that's
But
not talked about more.
But the thing is, yeah, because not many people use them, because nobody knows what everybody thinks that surge protector is going to work. I've been doing IT for a long time. All it does is that, like, if the power goes off, hey, let me go shut down my computer. I could go shut down the computer right now. You could even tell it that it's a smart UPS as well. You could also tell it, hey, if the power goes out, hey, shut down my computer. So the UPS has an algorithm. It'll send a signal to the computer, hey, I lost power. Go ahead and initiate the sequence to shut down. And so it'll shut down the computer when the power goes out.
So do you think surge protectors work for like 50% of the time, or what?
I don't know what the numbers are, because they have certain joules and certain things. There's a lot of capacity things that goes inside the power strips. I don't know too much.
Gosh.
All I know is that that's what I was told in class.
Yeah, I just don't know who, like, man, we need like mass statistics, and we're just like dealing with failure rates, and is a whole bunch of people people thinking that like it's just getting a whole bunch of like RMAs for their power supplies back to the companies, or just deciding to like buy another power supply.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of RMAs when I worked at the school. We had to get a lot of replacement parts, call the companies, and then our vendor, and actually get RMAs, like overnight it parts, and a lot of stuff like that. Even Cisco switches and a lot of things like that. We had to get a lot of RMA stuff because of these issues. Because when they were not connected to a UPS, we had a lot of power failures.
I'm going to tell you something. It's just a little bit of I'm not being paid to say this, but if you're going to go with a power supply in the United States, I would go with Seasonic, because I think they have like the best warranty in the United States.
Really?
Like, my power supply went out. I didn't have to pay a thing. I just took a picture, sent it to their website. They said, because you live in the United States or Canada, you can either keep it, hold on to it, or you can mail it to us. Like, if you keep it, you have to bring it to a recycling center and show them the receipt.
Yeah.
But my friend was with another competitor, I'll say EVGA, and he had to pay for shipping, which
Really?
which it's kind of expensive because like these things are not like they're not letters, right?
Correct.
So probably $20-$30 or something for shipping. Um, and then you'd think that maybe probably EVGA like ships it back to you, but it's nice to not have to pay for shipping.
Correct.
It doesn't make you feel good when you have to when your power supply dies in 2 years and you have to pay $30 or something.
Oh man. Yeah. But because power supplies could be expensive, man.
Yeah, and we bought like
Penny.
the similar thing. We both bought like he bought like 1,000 watt titanium. I bought a 750 titanium. So yeah,
We need to do a special segment on power supplies on you
we should.
because
I
we need. I
don't
need
know
to
a
know,
ton.
understand more.
I know some. I don't know a ton.
You probably know more than me, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's go. It'll be like Joe tells you what he knows about power supplies, and then let everybody rag on him.
And then yeah, we could do that. And everybody wants to bash Joe here. We'll go ahead and bash him on that day.
Yep. I
Enjoy
welcome
it.
it.
And in me, it's gonna be next week. My next podcast was be mine will be next weekend, and I'll definitely cover UPSs, and I'll go on Amazon, go to eBay, not eBay, go to Amazon, go to Walmart, and go to several websites, and we'll talk about power supplies, and stuff like that.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Cause I'm just curious because, I mean, cause you said it acts as a like connector, and we'll save it for that podcast. I'll save some questions and I'll ask you about it.
Write them down, man.
Cause I'm thinking about pricing, and I'm thinking about like equivalent wattage, and I'm just having a lot of questions.
The one thing is, if you have solar panels, and if you have solar panels, if you got wind turbines, you really don't have power surges because it goes into your house, because all that's going into a battery.
Yeah.
And then from your battery it goes into your house, and you're not going to get a power surge. It's less likely.
Interesting. Just a lot less power to deal with, or they have more fail safes.
It's like connect from the outside source, because you know how power surges come from the outside in sometimes.
Yep.
But now you're running off of solar, you're running off of wind turbine, you won't have that surge come in. Like let's say that company AEP is going to disconnect the light. They disconnect it, and when they turn it back on, you have a power surge coming in, because you have a surge of light coming in to all your outlets, and you can have a surge, and you can burn out circuits and stuff.
So
like
it's just a matter of like degrees. Like they're just like sending so much energy.
Correct. And with this you won't have that surge, but don't quote me. Don't get like here's you still could get a surge internal. But there's different ways you could get it, and I can't explain that to you. I'm not an electrician. An electrician, if you want to talk to an electrician, you gotta find me an electrician, and we could talk more on this.
Oh yeah, if we could get an electrician on our show, like, oh my gosh, I'd love to talk about power surges and just, oh man, that's cool.
I know an electrician, but she would not want to come live on here. Just right now, she would not want to come on here.
My brother is training to be an electrician, so
maybe we could get him on board.
Yeah, maybe. Like you said, like, oh, it's hard to get some people involved with YouTube, so we'll see.
Yeah, just tell me he's just gonna be on voice, just a voice person on there. Like, we don't have to say his name if you just don't want to. We could just call him Joe's brother, or we could just say Alpha. Hey Alpha, like what? If he doesn't want to be disclosed, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Or he has to just disclose some information because it's, I respect his privacy.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up our podcast this week, guys. We wish you a happy Halloween.
Definitely.
Our last our giveaway for this month ended today, but the next one will start, and I believe it'll be $30 to $5. So this will be like our I think that's like our 7th giveaway of the month of the year. So look forward to that. I'm gonna share that on Facebook and Twitter, and we might see it on some other descriptions of videos and stuff. But if not, you can always go to Facebook and you can go to Twitter and you can check out like Tech We Love. I've been the one like hosting it like morely, but Blazin has been part of the giveaway, and yeah, so you might see it on some of his socials as well.
Yeah, I should be.
So
I should share it out tonight. As soon as Joe shares it out to me, the new one, I'll go ahead and post it out to the world. So y'all could
yeah.
actually jump on board and enjoy this wonderful money that Joe's giving away. You know, he's
Yeah,
been a
so
marvelous person to help out this
yeah,
economy.
it's exciting. Like I told, like, again, I've done it because of the global problem, and I've done giveaways before, but like the global problem really like spurred me on to want to do one because I needed to pick me up, and helping other people. Like, you cannot imagine. I should do a video when I have time, like maybe during Christmas. I have compiled all these people's answers as to what this money means to them, and I should make a video just going through every single one of them, because it's actually it brings tears to my eyes, like people's stories. Like, people are talking about their family and they're talking about a lot of different things, and that'd be an interesting thing, to see how many people actually pour their heart out when they just want to win a giveaway.
Yeah, if you want to be part, if you want to eventually start donating, feel free to start. Well, ask us if you want to donate, and then we could use some of that money for giveaways and stuff like that. If you want to participate into that or donate to our channel, to help get better equipment, just let us know if you want our PayPal and our Snapchat, and we'll be glad to actually do this stuff for you guys, man. Like, we could all, if you want, we could also
Yeah,
do.
PayPal lets you put messages. So you're like, hey, I want to donate, $40 or $10 or $5 or whatever for a giveaway. It's just to help other people, because your giveaways reach enough number of people. We can always do that.
And if you want to, if you want to throw in money, and then we do a giveaway, and you want to be on one of the podcasts, or we could donate it during the podcast. We do a raffle, and whoever's on here, you could win money if you wanted to, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever we decide
Yeah.
later in the future,
Yeah. Lots of ideas.
this
So
thing could grow. Just you give us ideas. You want to donate money for special causes, be my guest, and we'll be here for you guys too as well. We're in this situation too, as you are with this whole human malware. So we want to make sure everybody's safe and everybody's is okay.
yeah. So stay safe for Halloween. What I'm doing for my home is I'm putting candy in plastic bags, and I also usually have stickers that I put on my bags. I'm gonna spread out the plastic bags so people can grab a bag without touching someone else's bag. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if anybody's gonna come around to my house, but if they do, you don't have to touch a bag of candy.
Well, we have here
You
in
don't, have to,
Austin.
you don't have to put your hand in some, like, touching someone else's stuff. You can have your own
Correct.
individual
Yeah,
plastic bags.
here in Austin, we actually have Halloween canceled.
Oh, do you? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, some
No, I
areas
don't
here in
know.
Texas
Maybe
canceled.
Minnesota would go that way, but I haven't seen it yet. So it's only one day before Halloween, so we'll see.
So it
But
looks like you're gonna have a
unfortunately, our numbers
Halloween
have been going up.
here too.
Yeah.
Here as well.
So stay safe, whether you're going to stay home or whether you're going out. And we will see you next week.
So make sure you stay safe, guys. We appreciate that. Peace out.